It is Thursday. RawMikeRichards.com. Broadcasting live from the DKI studios in downtown Toronto. 234 King Street East out of the Pacific Junction Hotel. Canada, as you can tell by the proud jersey that I am wearing. It's Richards. They win 5-1. Jonas Hiller sits on the bench for the first 4 goals as I think the guy in goal was Johan Shittenslinger.
Wow.
Yeah.
Leonardo Janano. Janano. Leonardo is his first name.
Yeah.
Let's stick with that.
Let's say he is a Genono because because wow. Was it 4 goals?
Ginani. Yeah, 4 goals in 8 shots.
Yeah.
Hey, heads up to that Switzerland coach. If you need somebody to replace you behind the bench, I'm available because I'm only doing this, like an hour a day. So if you can't make the decision to start arguably the best goaltender in the tournament, and don't get me wrong, I love that Canada won, but if you need help, filling out your time, your score sheet, your lineup, and you can't put Jonas Hiller, the only guy that actually has pure NHL experience, was a former All-Star in the world's best league and almost by far the best goaltender in this tournament, and you're facing a Canadian roster, even though it's a B roster, it's still Canada, which still means it's going to be good, just let me know because you're a dunce. You are unreal with the stupidity of starting a backup goaltender that hasn't even seen what North America ice looks like, and you started against Derek Roy and Rene Bourque. I mean, good on Canada for lighting you up because you made the mistake. This would have been a competitive game, probably within a goal and a half.
Yeah.
If you would have started Jonas Hiller. And I think you know what I'm getting at, Mike.
I think everyone knows what we're trying to say. If we talked the other day and said, goal and a half looks good. Oh, by the way, in goal is Nunzio Macacazzo Fai.
Wow.
Oh, not him.
That's hard to put on a jersey, too.
Hey, Cacazzo. That's what happened. He was merda. That was a bad decision. So 5-1. Canada looks good.
Looks
the
really
Czech
good.
Republic, don't hurt yourself.
Yeah. Oof.
2-1 over
South Korea.
the Korean All-Stars, or what do they call themselves?
The Korean/Canadian All-Stars.
Yeah, I think.
There's 4 guys on the team from Ontario.
If you look, and the professional leagues in other countries, especially the Far East, like I'm still, when you look at Japanese professional baseball,
Yep.
and some of the names,
Yep.
like Tigers, I get. So Tigers, we understand, and that's a big team. But then there's like the Crickets or the Fat Boys or Ham Bones or what do they call them? I'm like, what is?
There's Russell's favorite teams in Japanese baseball, the Swallows.
Yeah, the Swallows.
Big Swallow fan.
Yeah,
love swallowing.
Yeah. So this is what I'm saying.
That's
so
what they call fans of the Swallows.
The Swallowers.
The Swallowers.
I don't know if I want to sit in the front row of that one, but seriously, this is a tournament that's going to be a little weird. Canada look like Canada, but I don't know if every game's going to look like that. I mean, this looks exactly like, the very nationalistic, very proud Canadians are like, yeah, it's our game, we win again. Yeah, but maybe they don't put Stevie Wonder in goal to start it off, and maybe it's a little tougher. That's all I'm saying. But good for them. We'll also talk about the medals that are coming Canada's way.
Canada's women's hockey team beat the United States 2-1 yesterday, too.
Which is huge. That's
big time.
Because it's the only other team, really, they got to play, which is very big. But once again, medals all over the place. Watching, by the way, our curlers last night against the Koreans. So
Yikes.
Those South Koreans were making shots like it was a video game.
Totally.
They were really, really good.
And then Rachel Holman's rink lost this morning to Sweden, so she's 0-2 to start, which is unheard of, considering that, she's arguably the best in Canada, her and the Jennifer Jones rink. But when you're best in Canada, that usually means you're best in the world. 0-2 to start, though. That's a little bit of a hill to climb, but they're not out of it yet.
But here's the thing, because it's a round robin, and we understand that.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing, too, that I think is very real, is that if you're the Holman rink, they know. mean, you're the target, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the one that they're coming after. So if they're going to play the other countries their A game, then I think that you've got to get used to the fact. And it's not like she doesn't understand that. Of course she does. But what I'm saying is, it's like when you have the reputation of what Canada does, just like anybody else. If you're playing the Patriots, if you're playing, you have to understand that they're showing up, and that still. The decision last night, though, in the Korean game, in the was it the ninth end?
Yep.
Where they cough up 4.
4. Oh.
I thought they were just gonna, not to get all curling corner, but I thought they would just sort of draw to the button and
take the one.
Just take the one.
Take the one. Don't be greedy.
And then they tried for that crazy shot, and that cost them.
Yeah. She would have looked like an absolute hero if she would have made that shot, but the percentage of making that shot and what the result would have been, and we saw what the result was. I don't know if you take that chance at that time. I know what she was thinking, because, you take that one stone, but then they have, South Korea has the hammer in the final end. It's exactly what South Korea wanted as well, but to take it to another extent, they steal 4 on Canada.
4.
Canada still gets the hammer, but guess what? When you're down by that much,
Over.
you need half your rocks in the house just to tie.
It was over. It cost them the match, and the one thing about curling is it's a great TV sport. Like, it's a tremendous TV sport. I know people like to go to the things,
sure,
but watching the game the way it's shot on television, now that they have with the advent of now you can hear everything they say.
Oh yeah.
Although they really were trying to rethink that when they did the men when it first started. They're like, some of them are swearing. Yeah. You think? Really? So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Leafs in a couple of minutes here as they beat Columbus 6-3. We've got a bunch of stuff that we're obviously going to look at. But really, folks, as we came home last night, depending where you were in the world, depending on the country that you're watching from, but to see what happened in Parkland in Florida was just another soul-crushing example of the a country and a society that is somehow not figured out the danger in these automatic weapons. And again, there's so much passion and argument. But to me, at what point, what is the other side talking about when it comes to the sales of those AR-15s? We're not talking about guys in Montana who are hunting. We're not talking about upstate New York. We're not talking about Oklahoma. We're not talking about Alabama. Guys who go hunting. We're not talking about hunting families. Even to a degree, it's not even the right to have guns, which, of course, in the American culture, where it's the amendment to the right to bear arms. But, of course, when that was written, the American fathers were fighting the English. So it's possible that when you were on your farm, all of a sudden redcoats might be coming over. It is so far away from what I believe that normal, sane thinking people exist.
Yeah. That
by not just saying, for the very love of God, that those machines, those killing machines, those AR-15s are not meant for anything other than the military. They're just killing machines. They kill humans. And if someone is suffering from depression, from bipolar, all those things that we talked about that do exist, where in other countries, if they can't get a hold of the guns, sure, they'll use a vehicle, they'll use a car. That is a separate argument. But to take at least one of the go-tos from those who aren't of sound mind, that are murdering our women, our children, those brothers and sisters, wives, going to Las Vegas, which really wasn't that long ago. But look how many killings and shootings have happened since that time, and nothing has been done except for politicians to say our prayers for the families.
I'm getting really tired of that.
And these things should never happen. And if you're Donald Trump, I don't know how you can make these kinds of statements with not some sense of urgency and anger, understanding that this is not the way that your culture needs to be. Living in fear, especially our children, our unarmed children in school. I'm not showing, by the way, any of those videos that came out yesterday. You could see them on CNN, and of course they're available if you want to see them on the internet. But you're basically, Dave has small children. My boy's older now, but my wife is a school teacher.
Yeah.
I don't understand where people say, well, that's that whole debate. What is the other side debating in putting those killing weapons into the hands of those that want to use them for destruction, which is the only thing they're good for? And here is the other thing that I think is, again, part of that culture that I don't understand. The sales of the AR-15, so that was the gun used in Parkland in the massacre yesterday. After every massacre, and these are stats that they can get. So that's that Colt rifle, the AR-15. Also in Sandy Hook. I mean, you go through it in Las Vegas, San Bernardino.
Yeah.
They sell in even greater quantities after every atrocity. When the rumors are spread that it's going to be banned, these people are going out and buying more of them. So help me. Help me on this one. Someone of a sense of decency explain to me that kind of thinking. Your country is a killing country. Your country is one based on murder. How else are we to look at it? Look at all the marvelous Americans that I know and truly some of the greatest people I've ever met in a country that is still considered the most powerful country in the world. You look like idiots. You look like bloodthirsty animals who cannot control these dark urges for some of these people who are, again, maybe suffering from some of the illnesses that we recognize in today's world. And they can go into a sporting goods store and they can buy a weapon that is made only and purely for killing other human beings. Help me. Because I don't get you. I don't get you. You have a story, Dave, of these heroic acts that you hear of, and they're really hard to hear. And you said there's one of a football coach, because of course he was in high school.
Yeah, and well said, Mike. Yesterday watching this, it made me want to throw up just thinking about exactly what you just said, and I'm getting really tired of seeing politicians, especially Republicans, accepting money from the NRA. Thousands upon thousands, if not millions of dollars.
It's $50 million. And they spend more money fighting the Democrats in those races where they want a Republican to win. And look, I'm not getting into a whole Republican-Democratic debate. I'm saying that when you're backing a horse, and the reason you're doing it is because you will propagate and set up your reasoning for
exactly
the NRA. But if you're the NRA, how can you even enter? We're not talking about responsible people with gun licenses who use them to hunt. We're not talking about those people. We're not talking about that right to the bear arms. It's about the arms that they get. That's what I don't get, Dave.
Yeah, and just to come up with your meaningless tweet, thoughts and prayers are, and it's almost like you move on. You sign your little document at certain such a store, and you kind of wave it to the side. It's just sickening. They came out with a release early this morning. The Douglas football team, the MS Douglas football team, which participated in that school, the Eagles, they're called. One of their football coaches, an assistant football coach, Aaron Hess, he actually ran in front of the gunman when he was shooting and shielded like a human shield against some of the students. He was taken to hospital yesterday in critical condition, and he passed away this morning. So they are sending condolences to him for his selfishly shielding students from the shooter. Died a hero, and forever in our hearts and memories. And these are the kind of stories that, first of all, we shouldn't even be talking about, because these sort of events shouldn't be happening. But it's heroes like this that, you look at the tragedy and you go, man, a guy lost his life trying to save the kids that he was protecting right to the end of his life. And it's just sad, because 17 people died yesterday, and who knows how many more will die this year, considering that in the course of the first 5 or 6 weeks of 2018 there's been just under 20 school shootings alone in the United States. In the rest of the world, in the last 20 years, there's been less than 20 school shootings in the entire world. The States, 5 weeks. The rest of the world, 20 years. It's just, the numbers are staggering, and you're absolutely right when you say it's a blood nation, and I just don't understand the killing of other people, not to mention children, unarmed children in elementary schools and high schools, as the case was yesterday, and it's hard to even talk about it, Mike. It really is.
You're watching Raw Mike Richards on the website or on our dedicated YouTube channel as we move on to the world of sport. And once again, it also is very different, but kind of day, because quite honestly, when we have to come on and talk about these kinds of things, it takes us so far away from what we like to do. We like to have fun, what the show is all about. But quite honestly, it's hard to get those wheels going on a day like today because of those kinds of tragedies. But we will move on. There was certainly lots to happen about. We talked about the Olympics. We talked about earlier on some of the medals that the Canadians are winning. And I suppose, you can turn to those kinds of things because the Olympic Games so far have been actually very, very good for Canada. Now, what is the medal? Do we know what the medal
medal count?
Right now?
I'm trying to look for it right now.
Every time I'm trying to find it on these websites.
Right now, Canada has 5 gold, 4 silver, 5 gold, 4 gold, 5 silver, 4 bronze for 13. So according to the Olympic tally, because you go by gold medals, they're ranked number 5. If you want to talk about medals, total medals, they are ranked number 4. So because Germany leads with 9 gold medals, followed by Norway with 6, the Netherlands with 5, U.S. with 5, Canada with 4. And 13 medals for the country. It just not even completed the first week of the game, so they're off and going.
And of course, it's going to change as certain events come into play. You got to know that. The one thing that, and again, there is something about the Winter Olympics that maybe it's just the Canadian in me.
Yeah,
that I like it.
Yeah, I love it.
Like, there's even stuff that I look at it like the some of the Nordic events. I'm like, oh, who's doing that? That's not even fun. I couldn't even imagine drinking that's fun.
No,
but for the most part, I kind of get it a little bit.
You know what I don't get?
The Nordic events, I
don't mind some of the Nordic. The one I don't understand is, and sorry if you're watching and you love this event, but the cross country where you ski for 1 billion miles, then you stop and then you have to shoot.
Oh yeah, the biathlon, the ski and shoot,
I don't get that.
Ski and shoot. It's like that. That's weird. But to me, it's the Summer Olympic Games where I look at it. I'm like, oh come on. Look, I know there's equestrian people out there, and when I'm a kid, where I grew up, the horse riding girls with the tight pants and the whips. Oh.
Yeah.
Shelley Brown. Yeah. I'm throwing a name out there. Oh, my God. What a gorgeous girl. And she was one of these equestrian girls, and they wore the little outfit and stuff. That was really amazing. But they have these weird events. Like the kayak thing. Like, I don't know. Do you like that? The canoe one? Like, honestly.
I don't know. Yeah.
It looks like it's not even fun.
It's almost like they're...
Like, do you think that Vancouverton, what was his first name? I can't remember. Adam Vancouverton, they're going. And by the way, we're going to get you to do the standing up canoe one. Oh, I don't want to do that one. That one sucks. Can I do the rowing? No. Aw, what a rip.
That's probably how he says it, too. We're hearing some news. We haven't confirmed it just yet, but tomorrow at 7:10 in the morning, Sweden faces Germany in men's ice hockey.
Ice hockey.
I love it when you say ice hockey, by the way. Rasmus Dahlin is expected to be a healthy scratch for that game. I don't get that at all. That's the rumor right now, and he's the guy that's supposed to go first overall in the June NHL draft. He's the guy all these loser teams are falling off.
Drooling over.
Yeah, basically your Ottawas, your Buffaloes, your Arizonas, teams like that. They're wanting. Edmonton Oilers might be part of that mix as well. So he is expected, but we'll see because there's still another 20 hours before game time, but still one more game tonight. The United States and Slovakia. If you're looking for that on Sports Interaction, the States are favorites in that one. You might want to take Slovakia. I'm just telling you. Yeah. They look pretty good against the Olympic athletes of Russia, which really tanked. And I hope they tank tomorrow, too, because they're playing Slovenia at 2:40 a.m.
The Olympic athletes of Russia. What a brutal name. They should call themselves something different. Maybe Super Friends.
That would be good.
We are Super Friends.
I saw Alexei Yashin doing he was on the panel this morning.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, well... He looks like he could play right now.
Did you bring skates, Alexei? Other things to talk about, and quietly, if it's south of the border, this is quiet. The Toronto Raptors.
Yes.
The Raptors are looking really lethal. Now, they did play the Bulls, and I got to tell you, I mean, there have been some times where we've seen on the bottom part of that valley since the Michael Jordan era where the Bulls can really suck, and they really do. I mean, they don't have anybody. Doesn't mean you still, in the NBA, especially this time of year, this is where you can see some teams just not kind of get focused. Well, the Raps sure did. And I got to tell you, guys like Ibaka look fantastic. And Kyle Lowry is dropping threes like he's Steph Curry. He is hammering that ball from the three-point line. So we do have some of that. Once again, courtesy and property of the NBA, the NBA broadband properties, taking a look at the Raptors versus the Bulls. It was Ibaka looking great, and just look at Kyle Lowry.
Averages 24 a game. Ibaka, defense big for them. Ibaka, Lowry motoring, and waits for the defenders to run by him, and then dumps it off. Ibaka across the lane. Oh my goodness!
Yes,
nice. He got the contact low. They kind of faltered a little bit.
Well, I would dare say the start in the first quarter was terrific offensively.
Watch this.
As Lowry fires and knocks out defense.
And boom goes the dynamite.
You know, Toronto. And now here comes DeRozan.
Watch DeRozan's move at the end, at the buzzer.
Spinning, twisting, pumping, step through, fires, banks it in. Wow.
And yes!
That probably is
That
going to be
was
good.
DeMar DeRozan playing kid from Compton. How good did that look?
Really good.
Now, I know what it's like, and trust me, we live in Toronto. This is the capital of bandwagon jumping. This is people who you don't
Is that what
see.
it says on the sign?
I think that's what, if you're John Tory, welcome to Toronto, join us on the bandwagon. This is what we do here. And so now everyone's been kind of quiet because LeBron and friends, like, you never know what's going to happen. And by the way, how good does that look after this trade?
No kidding.
They have all of a sudden hit a switch to completely different
I hate
team.
this.
Yeah.
I hate this so much.
So don't get too excited, but all of a sudden it's very quiet, and nobody talks about the Raptors. But I got to tell you, they're playing some pretty good basketball.
I look forward to this weekend because they have 2 home games. Milwaukee on Friday, very good team, and Giannis Antetokounmpo, and also on Sunday, Blake Griffin and the Detroit Pistons, which is still kind of
figuring it out.
They're figuring things out, but they played very well with him in the lineup, and it's still weird for me to think of Blake Griffin is a Detroit Pistons.
Sure it is.
It
is weird.
It's like what? Yeah, no, he's in town. So Milwaukee on Friday, or actually no, that's right. They go to the All-Star break.
Right.
So that's a following Friday. I'm sorry. Yeah. So those are the next 2 games. They're on All-Star break right now because we're entering the All-Star break weekend. I totally forgot about that because I'm looking at the actual schedule and it's like, no, those are the next 2, but it's still another 9 days away.
And yet another event that I will bear, the slam dunk, as we know. Yeah, I mean, that was everyone's favorite thing. That
Sure.
was, and now that it's jumped the shark, so to speak, I don't know what they could do to make this. But
No.
I probably won't watch any of the weekend at all. I mean, not that this weekend also is the the Genesis Open at the
Tigers
Riviera.
in it. Tigers in it.
Are you going to watch? I mean, look, golf is one of those things you're like, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch me some golf.
I'm gonna bet the piñata on Tiger Woods first of all, and hopefully I'll get a nice little win there.
Defending champ is Dustin Johnson, by the way.
Yeah, it's a decent tournament.
Yeah.
There's going to be some names there, and Tiger's going to be there. So what's the first focus of the tournament? Is Tiger going to play on the weekend? That's the first focus. So you kind of, I don't know if you sit down and you spend 4 hours of it on a Thursday or on a Friday, but if Tiger makes the cut, it definitely throws a wrench into your weekend plans of watching television because you're sitting there going, okay, well, there's no NBA on television. Football's over. Am I going to watch some college hoops? Am I going to watch some hockey? Am I going to watch some Tiger Woods on a red shirt on Sunday? Probably, yes, absolutely.
I have more basketball here today, do I not, Russell? That was it? Okay. Because there was some stuff that I wanted to show that I thought was pretty interesting that I got this morning. Because I got to be honest, folks, a little disoriented today. Couldn't remember exactly what I grabbed. It wasn't the Bobby Knight one from the other day that we didn't play. What did I send this morning?
We have Jerry Howarth on the Batista home run.
That's what it was. Okay, so it is still filtering through this city. It is such a massive change to think that Jerry Howarth is not going to be doing ball games because baseball truly is a pastime. You can be passive. You can go fishing. You can mow the lawn. You could just be sitting. Like baseball goes on for that. Well, I was going to say 2.5, but almost no games do that.
No.
The 3 hours.
4
hours. They try to speed up the game, try to different ways. But let's say it's at least a 3-hour investment. But you can do whatever you want. It's that slow. And Jerry's voice has been the backdrop for 36 years.
Yep.
And of course, the Blue Jay Network via Sportsnet goes across the country. So he really, after Montreal leaves, is almost the national voice of baseball. So I thought it was kind of fitting. Look, at some point we may get a chance to talk to him. I mean, I do know him well enough that we, after all the parading around all the different channels, these TV channels he has to go to talk about it, I would love to get him in studio and talk to him. But I am sure of all the great moments, and of course he has seen some historically great moments, but of recent memory, and even though it's a little controversial, the Texas Ranger playoff game, 3-3, Bautista at the plate. It's going to be followed by the bat flip. Now, it's radio. It's a radio call. You're going to see what it looks like. But I just wonder, does that make Jerry's top 5? Is that a top 5 moment to call? And I got to think, because in baseball lore, it was one of the biggest moments I've certainly seen. Now, it's not bigger than Joe Carter. Is Joe Carter number 1?
Yep.
There's obviously World Series moments. There's I guess of historical significance. I think the Blue Jays, when they first started in the mid-'80s, finally seeing playoffs and those great series they used to have against the Kansas City Royals and George Brett, there was some of that in there. But I have to think that the Bautista hit, that home run, that bat flip, might be in Jerry's top 10. So once again, property of Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball broadband properties. Here is the legendary Jerry Howarth calling the Bautista home run.
1-1 on Jose. All eyes on the mound and the bearded Sam Dyson. Now he comes set. Kicks the 1-1 pitch. Fly ball deep left field. Yes, sir. There she goes.
That was a crazy moment. And if you're going to act like Zorro and throw the bat, I kind of get that it equals the moment. Maybe I'm the only guy that feels that way. The cameras can't even keep still because the building is moving. Like, be honest, in watching that, my pulse went crazy. My heart just exploded.
It's one of the greatest games I've watched in person. Irene and I were at that game, and it was outstanding. Just that whole inning itself
was crazy.
That may have been the best inning I've ever watched in person, in TV, on TV, anything, radio in my life.
I also, Jerry, the bearded Dyson.
The bearded Dyson, yes. He's, hey, you know what? Yeah. Painting the picture, right?
That's
Theater of the mind.
Oh, yeah, my God.
I mean, I grew up listening to him even in Winnipeg because, throughout Canada, I don't know how many people know this, a lot of times, your oldies station, even though there wasn't a sports station in Winnipeg at the time, will pick up Blue Jay coverage at night. So it was the kind of thing where, you know what, not to date myself, but you go to bed listening to Blue Jay games in the summer when you're 10, 11, 12 years old, and that's exactly what happened. You know what? It's a voice of my childhood, and hopefully we do get a chance to talk to him in studio.
You're watching rawmike.richards.com, also on the website, and of course the dedicated YouTube channel. We appreciate that. Here in Toronto, of course, they're pretty excited. There's the smell of playoffs, even though there might be also the smell of Bruins, and the Bruins may not smell very good.
No, they don't smell very good.
I got to be honest. That's a little ominous if you're looking at that as going to be your matchup. Because guess what, too? Here's the other thing. So let's say you got through Boston.
Yep. Which I don't know if that's.
So let's just say it's a Christmas miracle.
Okay.
You realize with the reseeding, the way they who the next team would be?
Oh, I'm very
Tampa Bay.
That's right. Or you could even reverse it if you get by Tampa Bay. Boston's next. You know what? In the Atlantic Division, there are 3 teams of relevance, and unfortunately for Maple Leaf fans, the Leafs are the 3rd best team. That's the bottom line.
It's what Blue Jay fans used to argue about all the time, saying, "Great, it's fun being in the same division as the Yankees and the Bo Sox." Like, that's just a barrel of laughs.
Yeah, no kidding. It's so true, though.
It's like, hard. I mean, when they're giants and they are fiscally intimidating as well, because there are times, Dave, as you know, where those teams go, "Oh yeah, well, I'm going to spend this much this year. We're bringing a guy from Japan, a guy from Cuba. We're going to Venezuela. We got a guy, I think it's a guy from Mars. I don't know. A Martian's going to play. Like,
it might be.
You look at it, because guess what's happening this year? Boston and the Yankees are going to be huge.
Yeah.
Huge. They've got players. The Yankees got better. The Yankees have a farm system that has worked for them.
Yep.
They have done everything, as they say, the right way. They might go on a tear like we've seen from the Yankees over decades. We might see a 3-4 year of greatness.
And it's only going to get better, too, because once this new team starts to gel, it sometimes takes a while, and then you keep on adding pieces. And if the Yankees are close at the deadline, which obviously I think they will be, I think they'll be first place at the deadline, they may even add an arm or two, or your offseason next year will be, I don't know, is it a Bryce Harper? I'm just saying it's a possibility.
That would be sick.
I personally don't think it's going to be Bryce Harper,
right,
just because of Giancarlo Stanton signing or this trade with the Marlins this year, and Derek Jeter doing a nudge, wink, trade off with his old team. Man, I mean, the Giancarlo Stanton pickup is so massive, and you look at the middle of that order, they truly are the Bronx Bombers. And when they got that nickname in the 60s and 50s for the 3-4-5 hitters hitting 50, 50, and 50, well, they might do that this year in 2018. That's how good this team is.
Oh. You hear that music? We do have the Russ Cam.
Yep.
Which I think the other day wasn't available. Russell, you must be very excited after last night's, maybe 6-3 win over Columbus. And they wanted to win, but they didn't. And the Leafs did. And they like it. Russell?
Yeah, it was a good game. Freddie played really well, 54 saves. I think that was a career high for him. Leafs, I mean, they didn't play great. They gave up 57 shots. It's a little much
terrible.
To give up in a
is.
60-minute game, but they came out with a win. They've won 9 of their last 10, and they've won, I think, 5 or 6 straight at home, so I can't complain.
Can't believe how big you're smiling right now. Yeah. What do you make of that last night, Dave?
Well, I'm about to go on a little bit of an agree and disagree. So.
That means
you can.
No. That means music change, Dave.
Yeah.
And so.
You can Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen me up here because I'm ready to go.
Here we go. And now, it's time for Agree or Disagree with Dave Pastel.
Thank you so much, Mike. Maple Leafs win 5 in a row. Fantastic. But can I ask the general public one thing, and media personalities that are on board with this year? Can we stop the notion of Frederik Andersen being a Vezina candidate? Because he isn't. He's not remotely close to being a Vezina candidate. If you actually look at the numbers this year, there's so many other opportunities for other goaltenders that are going to be there. I don't even think he's a top 5 candidate. He's had a nice season on a team that allows everybody in the kitchen sink to take shots on him, which is fantastic. When you lead the league in most shots on goal against, that's great, but it's telling you have a really bad defense in front of you. So numbers-wise, let's just crunch down the numbers for a second. He has a lot of wins because he plays the most out of everybody in the entire league. He's 11th right now in save percentage, which is okay, but 11th. He's 11th in save percentage. He's not even in the top 20 in goals against average. So don't give me this Vezina candidate crap when I'm looking at Tuukka Rask, who's all world, and he's better than him, plays within his division. You look at Andrei Vasilevsky, who is all world, plays in his division. There's 2 goaltenders in his own division better than Frederik Andersen, not to mention the entire league. And if Carey Price had any kind of team in front of him, there'd be 3 goalies in his own division better than Frederik Andersen. Connor Hellerbuck's having a better year than Frederik Andersen. There's Marc-Andre Fleury with the Vegas Golden Knights having a better year than Frederik Andersen. So stop with this, Freddie this, and I'm wearing a Freddie t-shirt, and Freddie's my hero, and the redheaded guy from Denmark. I mean, nice story and everything, but is Frederik Andersen going to win a playoff round? No, he's not. And are the other goalies I just mentioned? Yeah, they are. Are 2 of those goalies going to be in the Stanley Cup final at the end of the year? Yes, they will. Frederik Andersen will not be part of it. I like him. I think he's a great goalie. But stop with this Vezina candidate garbage. There's so many better goaltenders than Frederik Andersen, and just because he plays in your backyard and you let Columbus, who was just barely hanging on to a playoff spot, nail 57 against you, blame your crappy defense and a team that can't capitalize on their opportunities before you sit there and tell me Frederik Andersen is a Vezina candidate. Nice goalie, but if there's a Vezina candidate for the 6th or 7th or 8th best goalie, then sign me up and put Andersen's name on the trophy. Mike, agree or disagree?
This has been Dave Basto. Agree or disagree. Available on Twitter on the Raw Mike Richards account. Brought to you by DKI Canada. You got something broken? We'll goddamn fix it. There you go. That was there. There's steam coming off that one.
You know what?
And Russell is livid.
I love it.
He is steaming.
You know what? For once, I know there's going to be a lot of people waving the Andersen flag, disagreeing with me, but that's what I want them to do.
Well,
so I hope it happens.
I think I don't know what the coach thinks about that, but.
Well, you want to bring him in right now? Because I could get him on the line if you want to do that.
All right.
Okay, Mike Babcock. I know the day is off for the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Leafs enjoy another victory, looking in the right direction, but he joins us now on rawmikeriches.com. The coach on a day off. First off, Coach, thanks for joining us. Maybe your thoughts on yesterday's result. It's a winning result, but maybe not the type of team defense result that you wanted.
Well, I don't think you go into any game, Davey, and say, I hope we give up. I hope we give up 60 shots. It's just, it's inexcusable. It's not professional. And if people want to call us, we look like a junior team. You know what? I don't disagree because that's garbage. I thought Cads was good. He got them goals. He got some assists, so he's playing the way we expect him to do. And I also have to disagree. That's thing you just said there about the agree. I completely disagree. I think Andersen is going to win the Vezina. I put some money on it. And Sports Interaction, by the way, if you want to go to Sports Interaction and click on the Raw Mike Richards, you get $200. That's the way you do it. That's the right way. And I also made up some T-shirts that say Andersen Vezina Trophy 2018. Which I think is good, and I think he's going to win a couple of playoffs.
You're gonna sell a lot of them here, Coach, in this city.
I think overall, I said although someone went off last night with some spasms there.
Jake Gardner.
Yeah, Jake Gardner. Poor Jake, he's stupid. And also, I'd like to say that the only spasm we really got in the team is Roland Polak.
Polak, yes.
And he's just terrible.
Is he good enough to make a junior team? You kind of made reference to a junior team. Is he good? No.
If he goes out to Brandon, he's getting cut. I can tell you that right now. There's a great strip joint right across from the
Keystone. Keystone
there. Eh? You need a couple of drinks to drink them good, but I'll tell you it's a good thing. But big game. I like Cads and I like Andy. What he done last night.
Yep.
And I disagree with you, Davey.
Okay. Mike Babcock, exclusively on rawmikeriches.com, joins us when he will not join any other stations across the city, if not nation.
Can't believe all the disagreeing he had there on that one. That's it could be upsetting, but that Dave, about. You don't mind being in the hot seat. You're the
nope.
You're like Steve Simmons.
No, what? No, why?
Okay, here's the one thing. So I've known Steve for a long time, and so he wrote something about the gold medal that Johnny Moe gets with was it Kelsey?
Caitlin Laws.
Caitlin Laws.
Yep.
And he said, well, not all gold medals are treated the same way. Now look. He's got his right to say whatever he wants. And by the way, if you know Steve Simmons, he's going to say whatever he wants. But when I saw him put there, I thought, okay, Johnny Moe is as good as a curler as there is on any planet, on any four that you're going to see, any rink that currently is involved in a world championship or an Olympics. Johnny Moe is as good as anybody generally that's going to be on that team. So a legit, all universe, all world kind of curler.
Yep.
Caitlin wasn't even the choice number one, but she curled great. Like that was full marks. So my only question is, when Steve does that, and again, I know that he got ripped for it. My thinking is, why does that gold medal not weigh similarly to anything else? Like, why is it less than? Because you get in all kinds of trouble. You're saying, because it's mixed? Because it's mixed, so it's you can't win any of those arguments.
No.
I didn't even know why he wrote that.
No, I don't know either. And the thing is,
like, honestly, I've seen him write stuff. I've seen him take heat from so many. I saw him get it right between the eyes from Don Cherry, where I'm literally this is Don this side, this is Steve this side, and they both knew I was there, and I had to scrunch down. Of course, I didn't want to leave because it was too good. It was too good. And Steve just takes it.
Yeah.
He's the one guy he could carve Dave Bastel
to his credit, and he'll come to my house.
And he'll be there the next day, the first guy in the front row, which is why guys like Brian Burke, when they said, "What are you going to miss about Toronto?" He goes, "Not Steve Simmons." That was the first thing. But Steve knows it. You got to give him marks for that.
Yeah, you really do.
But I was surprised at the comment, though. I thought, in Canada, after a gold medal, wow.
Yeah, because there are a lot of people that will, right from their home, email in their story to their newspaper, and you won't see them for a couple of weeks. Because we've seen a lot of that. I don't get that either.
I don't think anyone ever saw William Houston.
No.
All the garbage he wrote all those years, no one saw William Houston.
No, ever.
Yeah.
Ever, anywhere.
He wrote some stuff that, man, he even wrote stuff about me. It wasn't even me.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're bang on, and that's an example of what I was talking about. So, you know what, Caitlin Laws, her second gold medal at the Olympics. She was also a gold medalist at the Sochi Games with the Jennifer Jones rink. It's not, if you're going to blame anybody, it's not their fault the IOC decided that they were going to include mixed doubles in curling for the first time ever at these Olympic Games. That's the way it is. And here's how the Olympic Games work, if anybody doesn't know. Your top sports, like your curling, and I'm sorry, ratings-wise, curling is a big-time winner. Huge. If you could have 20 different disciplines of curling, the Olympics might sit there and say, you know what, we're on board for all 20 because it means television ratings up, which means commercial time, more money, more spending, more accepting of the money if you're the IOC. So does this surprise me? And will this surprise me in the future if we see maybe at the next Olympic Games mixed full curling, 2 men, 2 women on the same ice surface representing Canada? Don't be surprised if it's going to happen. So if you think the mixed doubles right now on 2-person curling is kind of boring, well, get ready. There's going to be more of it because they know a winner when they see it, and curling is a big-time ratings winner, and they'll do it again and again. If they could, in the Summer Olympics, if there was a way of doing the 100-meter dash 1,700 times, they would do it. They would ask for 1,800 times because it makes money and everybody wants to watch it. So curling in the winter, it's a slam dunk.
You're watching Raw Mike Richards on rawmikeRichards.com or the dedicated YouTube channel. By the way, so it's right here, this little right around there.
Yep.
Where the head is, where DKI is. Click to subscribe. I know you've been doing it, and so continue doing it. We appreciate that. Also, some off season, so it's some football news. I thought this was interesting. The Raiders have informed Sebastian Janikowski that 18 years it's been, that 18-year run with the team is going to end.
Yep.
Now, he's made a lot of money. He is the all-time scorer for the, as we're calling them now, Oakland Raiders.
Borderline Hall of Famer, Mike.
Yeah.
That's how good that is, yeah.
And I just wonder if the Raiders are going, I don't think we can take Janikowski to Las Vegas. I don't know if Sebastian Janikowski could actually perform anything. You remember the time he was found with no pants in a dance club?
I know what you're talking about.
Didn't know where he was. And I'm just saying, for everything that Janikowski's done, and he's full marks, as I said, he's Hall of Famer, all-time. There is a lifestyle thing that I think probably they're afraid of in going to Las Vegas. In fact, you can see it. There are little hints of it if you go through some of his home movies. I was sent one last night. Here's this is past summer. This is the Janikowski family reunion we're going to see here.
The Polish. Polish to? Na pół litra? Polecimy razem.
Not yet.
Oh, dude.
Oh, wow. Oh!
Thirsty.
Oh, my God.
So you have a brother.
For you.
Oh. Wow. Yeah. There it is. So that seems like fun. Hey, I can show you some real fun. Remember, we were trying to push a Russell the other day about who he would fight if he had to fight someone?
Yep. Who was it?
Well, the fight's going to take place. Was it August 3rd? When you get back from Sweden. It's going to take place on August 3rd. I think we're going to have it at the House of Lancaster.
Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to this. But I finally found an opponent
no.
for Russell.
I'm cheering for Russell.
But I like his chances. But here is his opponent. I believe he's from Lithuania.
Okay.
They call him the Lithuanian Lightning Strike.
Oh.
And I think
Good nickname.
Oh yeah, I like Russell Graham's chances. But here's his opponent this August. He's he's got a ground game there, as you can see. He's the Greco-Roman.
He's crafty
on all fours.
Yep.
Seems to. He's sneaky good.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Russell has a speed advantage on him. I can tell that already.
Here he comes. This is known as the
Wait a
Viper
second.
Strike.
Oh,
no, it's
geez,
not. Actually,
no.
it's just falling down. That's what it is. But as you can see, Russell's superior striking skills should come into play. Good footwork. And here he comes again. Here's that's yeah. Okay. So Russell's. There you go, Russell. Do you want to say something angry now about your opponent? Do you want to go after him now?
I'll pass on that.
It's one of the Janikowski brothers.
That is
a Ludwig Janikowski.
That is unbelievable. So, coming up today, what is on the Olympics? If we're looking at that, what is next on the schedule that we can even bet on? I'll tell you what, because my philosophy, the whole hockey thing, got torn apart today.
Oh, did it ever?
Yeah. Czech Republic. Who was the guy we just saw? What was that? Your first line center?
Seriously, I know. Hockey tonight. 10:10 start. United States and Slovakia tomorrow. Full slate of games starting at 2:40 in the morning. It's Slovenia and the Olympic athletes of Russia, Norway and Finland, Germany and Sweden, Canada and the Czech Republic. Canada should win that game, considering what we saw on the ice against South Korea. Czech Republic 2-1 winners over South Korea. I'm not convinced of what was there, and you look at that and go, man, thanks for showing up. As far as other events are concerned, I'm just kind of quickly gonna scan my app and figure out what we have.
Is it conceivable with a couple of gold medals that Canada could actually be at the top of the Olympics, at least the top three?
Very close, yeah.
I would think so.
No, absolutely. Well, top three for sure. Germany already has 9 gold medals, which is substantial. I know. The Germans.
Hogan.
Speaking of Germany, the men's skeleton final round is tonight, 7:30. Alpine skiing on the women's side. Snowboarding quarterfinals are qualifying for those next heats for women's snowcross. Men's figure skating, Russell, tonight, 8 o'clock. Yeah. Also, men's Super G, one of my favorite events.
A good one. Yeah.
I like that a lot. And also, with the skeleton and how it usually works is you'll have your semifinal events, and then a couple hours later, your finals. Yes, the finals of the skeleton men's round is starting at 9:15, scheduled for, and that is the medal. So we'll see what happens with that. And that will lead that. If skeleton is next, then we'll soon be seeing the bobsled, and bobsled is a lot of fun, and Canada will have bobsled teams, Canada 1, Canada 2, involved with that, like they usually do. I don't know if they're going to medal, but they're going to be in contention.
Also a lot of fun. The Europa Football League continues. Really like Dortmund in the over 2.5, David. Great strikers, such power. Being back in Germany, as you know, they're very tough on home soil. At Atlanta, I don't like their chances. Very lazy, those ones. Real Sociedad over Salzburg. Look for a world of hurt there. That's a lovely pick for Sociedad. Also, Nice is nice in this particular matchup, David, over Moscow. And AC Milan should do well on the road against Ludogorets. Oh, they're really lacking deodorant, those ones. And not that AC Milan's doing any bragging, but I've got to tell you, I do like the 2-1-5. And, of course, tonight in college basketball, Purdue and UCLA should both be winners. And let's face it, doing an English accent talking about college hoops makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It really doesn't.
What?
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
Become best friends? Yep. You want to go do karate in the garage? Yep.
Yeah.
It's time!
So once again, congratulations to the Canadians who seem to... Well, certainly they got a great start with the men's ice hockey. Ice hockey, David.
Ice hockey.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens the rest of the day. Our Canadian women in curling, I got to tell you, the Koreans, that first round, I just could not believe how well they played, so that could be a world of hurt. But skiing coming up as well as luge and bobsled.
Let's get ready to rumble!
and then a whole bunch of drinking. What's wrong with that? Why am I talking like Andy Roney? So what's wrong with drinking? So have yourself a great day, an Olympic day, and I just feel like you want to hold on to the ones you love, especially your kids today. It's more important than ever. I just hope we learn our lessons, but it seems like we're not. Sorry.